Howdy everybody, my name's Micah and I'm a railroad pilot, but I only fly Cessnas and Pipers. Today we're talking about Airbus and Boeing, specifically their lighting panels. Now we've talked about PU Air Korea on the channel before, specifically with their miniaturized overhead panels. Today we're going to be talking about these two little guys. They're both lighting panels for Airbus and for Boeing. Now let's jump over to the table, unbox these things, and then jump into the sim to show you how they work. Here they are. We have the PLT-A and the PLT-B. A for Airbus, B for Boeing. We're going to open up both of these and check them out. We're going to talk about the build quality, how easy it is to use it, and all the features involved with these panel lighting systems. Let's first start with this one right here. I haven't opened them, so I don't know which one's which. So we're going to open this one first, and then we'll move on to this one. So I'll put this over to the side. So let's start with this. Let's go ahead and open up the box. Let's see here. It looks like it's just going to be a slide like so. It's a tight fit. There we go. And we put this over to the side. We have our typical PU Air Korea information about which aircraft are supported, as you can see here. It'll also be in the description down below. They did tell me that they are increasing the number of currently supported aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024. Just be aware right now this is not supported on the X-Plane. So if you're on X-Plane, this is not supported yet. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and open this up. All right, so we got a nice USB-C cable. This, if you're familiar with PU Air Korea stuff, they use these USB-Cs for all of their pieces. So of course we have that. And with this particular kit, I did get the magnetic base. So this is the way that this will be mounted on my desk using this magnetic base system. And we'll get into that in a moment. We'll put this to the side for now. It is metal, by the way. It feels pretty solid, pretty stiff. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out for it. And then, of course, the system itself. This is the PLT. And let's open it up. It looks like it's the Airbus just by the coloration, but let's find out. Looks like a little bit of tape here. And this is the Airbus. So as you can see, you do have the toggle switches for your different lights, off, auto, on. So it is 3 toggles. You have your beacon on and beacon off, wing on, wing off. Nav and logo, you have your off position, 1 position, and 2 position. And then of course you have your landing lights in the off, retract, and on positions. And of course your taxi as well, off, taxi, and on. A lot of panels don't have those 3 selectors, but these do. Now I do want to mention something. This is plastic. This is not metal. This is plastic. The switches themselves are metal, but the covers right here are plastic. So just be aware of that. And also be aware, see how this rotates? I was told by them that the reason it rotates is because of the actual toggle switch itself, not because of the piece. The piece is securely glued on there just because of the way that these toggle switches are, that they do rotate inside of their own socket. So you see that little wiggle, that's perfectly normal. Don't think it's broken or anything like that. That is how it is designed. Now, this cover is plastic. It is colored the Airbus blue-gray, and it's plastic all the way around except for this metal ring here. You do have your typical on-off switch in the back and your USB-C cable. So we're gonna plug this up and we'll check this out in a moment, but that is the Airbus PLT that you do have available to you. Put this back up, and I'll leave this out for us to check out in a moment. So let's bring the Boeing or the PLT-B, and let's open this one up and see what we've got. All right. Now, first things first, you probably noticed that there's more cables in here and something else. That is because this has the additional seatbelt and no smoking switch selector. This is an add-on you can add if you want to have these 2 particular switches as well as your typical lighting setup. If you're familiar with the PMO, which let me grab that. This is also by PU Air Korea. We've already done a review video on that. This does have the seatbelt signs and the no smoking signs built in, but it is just regular toggle switches, so it doesn't work with all of your different aircraft. But if you really want to have that seatbelt and no smoking with the PLT-A or the PLT-B, you do have this add-on little switch case here. And it, of course, comes with a USB-C cable that goes with that. Another USB-C for the PLT-B. And another magnetic mount, which will show how this connects in just a second here. Because I do want to show you, there is something very particular about this they told me about to make sure that everyone understood, so I definitely want to make sure I cover that. And here is the PLT-B. Open that up. Same back design, on-off switch USB-C. There's your ring for your magnetic base, which we'll cover in just a second. And then, of course, you have your front panel for your Boeing. So you have your on-off for logo position. You have your steady strobe, off and steady. Anti-collisions on and off, wing on and off, wheel well on and off, taxi on and off, your turn off on and off, and then of course you have your landing lights. Now again, notice how this rotates. Again, they told me that is to be expected. It is not the plastic rotating on the switch itself. It is their toggle switch itself rotating inside of the casing. So that's just how those toggle switches are. And they told me that in order to actually get a different toggle switch is going to be more expensive. And so they just figured, why bother? But if that does bother you, just be aware that it is a thing. You do have this switch right here, so you can switch them both on at the same time and then both off. So that is a cool, neat thing that you do have on an actual Boeing aircraft. So if you're wanting that, realism, you do add that little flap there as well. Now, let's talk about mounting this. So on your magnetic mount, you see it's circular. You want to make sure that the circle on the back and the circle on the front match each other. I know it seems kind of, makes sense, right? The reason you want to do that is because if you don't have it centered, like I do now, if it's not centered, let's say I have it kind of like this, it's just going to slide right off. See that? It's just going to slide right off. So when you connect it, make sure it's dead center, and now that's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good. So definitely a nice, secure way of holding on using just the magnets that are in here. And that's how it's going to be. And so now that we've kind of looked at the box and what's in it, we're going to go ahead and pop these both onto Microsoft Flight Simulator. And we're going to check out these pieces when they're connected into the sim. We're now inside Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We're going to be looking at how this PLT, this is the B from Boeing, interacts with the PMGG 737. Now, the PLT-B interacts with the PMGG 737, the 777, the iFly 737, Salty 747, the Asobo 737, the Asobo 787, and the Airsoft CRJ. So if that's the aircraft you're going to be using, this would be the PLT-B for you. We'll get into the PLT-A in a moment. So as you can see, we're going to start from the right and go to the left, starting at the top, the wheel well lights. If I flip it to on, you can see the wheel well lights turn on. Flip it to off, and it goes back off. With the wing lights, same thing. On, off. Anti-collision lights, on. We'll leave those on for now. And the position lights, you can go into the off position or steady position. Now, if we're going to be taking off, we'll be strobe and steady. And then a logo, on and then off. Taxi light, same way. On or off. Runway turn off lights, right and left, both work. And of course, you have your landing lights. We can use this, turn them both on, or we can turn them on or off individually. Now, one cool feature of the PLT versus the PMO, this is the first PU Air Korea system that allows you to adjust the brightness of the display. I'm going to turn off one of the lights here so you can see the brightness as I adjust it. As you can see, I'm taking it from dim, basically all the way off, to all the way up. You have this option to adjust your lighting based upon your lighting conditions in, wherever you are. So for me, a lot of the times I like to fly when I have all the lights off. So a lot of the times I'll probably keep it pretty low because I don't need a ton of light. But if you are in a bright environment where you have the overhead lights on or you're streaming, then you might want to turn this all the way up. We'll keep it back down to 50. You also have the option to sync in game. Now, in the in-game here, if I can go to I'm in the overhead panel, and I want to increase the brightness of these lights that you see here, I can do that from inside the game. Or in this case, I should say the flight simulator. Don't crucify me. All right, so you can see the panel brightness light here. As I turn it up, it adjusts based upon that panel brightness. Now, I don't know about you, but that's pretty freaking cool. If you want to have that type of realism, you have the option right here inside of the aircraft adjusting the brightness. Now we are in the Phoenix A320 and we're going to be using the PLT-A. Just like in the PLT-B, you still have the option to adjust the brightness like I discussed, as you can see here. Going from right to left, from the top to the bottom, like we did on the PLT-B, we'll start with the nav and logo. As you can see in game, as I adjust this switch, it switches in game. Wing lights, beacon off, on, strobe lights off, auto, on, nose, taxi, takeoff, landing lights off, on, runway turn off, on. Just like the PLT-B, the PLT-A has the same types of switches. You have the 3 toggles here that you need, and you also have your individual toggles. It's a great little add-on, I have to admit, and I'll probably be using this quite a bit, honestly, just like I use the PMO quite a bit. Overall, the PLT-A and the PLT-B is a good product. I'll probably be using them when I fly Airbus and when I fly Boeing. If you're interested in picking up either the PLT-A, the PLT-B, PMO, or any of the other PU Air Korea gear, you can use the discount code PUA, that's Papa Uniform Alpha, 10 Micah Messer, PUA 10 Micah Messer. This code right here, that is going to give you 10% off any gear. Now, it's a one-time use code, so make sure that you load up your cart with everything that you actually want and you purchase it because it's a one-time use code. I do want to mention also, they now have free worldwide shipping. When they shipped these to me, it only took 5 days, which is quite fast when it's coming all the way from Korea. So I did want to mention that as we wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions about these products or comments, let me know down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time up in the sky.